Hello, my name is Ben Hall. This is my presentation, my final project for Theater 101. I'm doing a design pitch. Basically, I'm covering a play that already exists, which is The Crucible by Arthur Miller, and I'm kind of putting my own spin on it and adding a couple little tweaks based on things that I've learned in the class this semester. So again, the script that I'm covering is The Crucible by Arthur Miller. He wrote the play in 1952. It debuted on Broadway in 1953. So the story of The Crucible, it's a Salem witch trial story, and I'll go ahead and just read my little summary I have here. So, Puritan town in 1600s America springs up all of a sudden with whispers of witchcraft and devil worship. As it turns out, some young girls in town are largely just playing around, but there is a little bit of black magic being practiced by one girl, Abigail Williams. Um, Abigail Williams wants desperately to be with a married man and will take down whoever she needs to in town via accusations of witchcraft to get him. Lies, fear, and paranoia envelop this small town and leave it forever changed. So, Abigail Williams is one of the main characters in this play. She is like the driver of the plot, pretty much. These whispers and these rumors of devil worship and witchcraft, they're only really, in the townsfolk's imagination until she starts stirring up more and more rumors in the town, and this is just to get what she wants, which is to be with this man in the town. So, next slide, please. So now taking that as the raw material and kind of turning it into my take on it and how I wanted it to look. So the style of the play that I chose is realistic. This is the same style that The Crucible is based in, and setting is the same. Again, it's America in the 1600s. This is a picture of what I imagined my set to look like, as if it was, a real building in a story. This is New England colonial architecture, so that's kind of what I had in my head. And this is like fully wooden building with big windows, and I pictured the first floor of this to be my town hall, which, if you can see right here, that's my set. So. Talking more about the style and the aesthetic, the costumes I was gonna have my actors and actresses wear is old-fashioned Puritan dress, just like The Crucible. So everybody's very modestly dressed. It's for women as well as for men. The men wear these kind of breeches things, which have like high socks, and they have these kind of shoes with big buckles on them, almost like pilgrims, sort of. So that definitely adds to, excuse me, the sense, I feel like, as an audience member, that you are in kind of an old-fashioned world at the time. We're transported back to the 1600s, and that, as we've learned this semester, what your actors are wearing immediately kind of tells the audience what to think about what they're looking at. And then even the furniture is important, and for that I went with, if you want to look at my model here, I went with very, very simple, basic wooden furniture. I looked this up, it's called American colonial furniture. That's takes it back to the late 1600s, early 1700s. Next slide. Can we go back one, sorry. So thinking about, actually we can keep going, sorry, next slide. So thinking about some of the things that we need going off of that, I have a kind of a long list here, but I have the prop that I made, which I'll talk about later. That is the Bible that I made out of an encyclopedia. One of the preachers in the play walks around with it the whole time. Some other notable things that I thought worth talking about. The back of my set is going to be made out of wood and then painted black. So we would need some pretty good like 2x4s to then just hammered together to be a wall. Black paint as well to go along with that. And then also, along with the Bible, I was also planning on having an outdoor scene in there. And so what I was hoping to do was turn the lighting really down low here, in kind of the background of the set, and move this furniture out of the way, and then have a foreground that is lit up by really really bright white lighting, and we're gonna have something that looks like, yeah, like a moon up here high, hanging down from the rafters, so that we have like an outdoor scene with some trees, and we have some characters having this quiet secret conversation in the woods outside. So here's my design for my model. Here are those windows, which you can see here. I was able to get some gray felt for the curtains. If you want to pan this a little bit. I was able to get some gray felt for the curtains. If you can see that, I just try to make a little extra detail because I really wanted these to be there. It just felt like it would look a little more for the time period, I guess. And then you're just really basic table, really basic rug, and wooden chairs. But why this is really important is because how your stage is set up really influences your play and really influences your actors and actresses. So to answer a couple questions about how my set would affect the people in my play, for the people building the set, it's a simple build, I feel like, but it's pretty, it's simple, it's cost effective, but I think it looks good and it looks kind of meant for that time period. For the actors acting in the play, I tried to make a lot of room for them to be able to walk around and express themselves, but also have a couple places where they can kind of anchor themselves here behind the table or at the chairs for their parts. And that goes back to the style of, we want it to be simple, we want it to be old-fashioned, that kind of aesthetic there. And again, supporting the needs of the script too. This is a simple set. It doesn't need a lot of flash. It's not about some rich billionaire in his penthouse apartment or anything like that. It's Puritans living at a time when this is how most people's houses look. This is a town hall. It could very well be what a town hall might have looked like at that time. That's what I was going for. Next slide. Could we go back real quick? Sorry. So I also forgot to mention some obstacles and challenges that arose for me making this. Making the windows was really hard. Cutting them out, and I was trying to cut out each pane and then keep this and then make another pane, and I ended up almost like breaking this because I was putting too much pressure on it. So I ended up opening up all of it and then just doing it a paper frame. Also, hot glue worked better than the tacky glue, so I switched to that to get this back wall on. Next slide, please. So now we can kind of look at the progression from my first project for this class all the way to the final model and to see where we ended up. So my first project was scenic design. I drew a mock-up of what I thought my set might look like. Definitely some things in here that I did keep, like a big tree. I wanted that in the play, and I'll end up getting that in there with the outdoor scene that I talked about. I talked about open area for actors to move around in. I was able to accomplish that here, but definitely some other things that I tried to fit in on my drawing that I did not have room for. And that's what I said here. I did not know how much space I would really need to create a good stage. Next slide, please. So then the next one, for the costumes project, I looked and researched online for inspiration about how I wanted my actors and actresses to look. And this is from the original 1953 production. This is a Kansas City, Missouri production in the 2000s. Some similarities, some differences. These guys were wearing wigs. I didn't want to go with the wigs look. So it's more back to the original production and what they were wearing at that time. I just thought that would be more the look I was going for. Next one. So this one was, I lost my picture for this, so I just had to put a replacement picture in. But the makeup I did was for the the male lead in this show, and it was really simple makeup rendering. Like I just wanted him to be able to look good on stage and have a little bit of highlights and a little bit of more like tan makeup on to accentuate his facial features, but that didn't quite work. So we'll go to the next one. And this is Project 4. This is my main prop that I made. This is a big black Bible that John Hale, the preacher in this story, is going to carry around with him pretty much all of his scenes. It is a symbol in this play. It's a symbol for, we end up going back to, in the plot, this is a story about witchcraft and paranoia about the devil and things like that. And so then a powerful preacher comes in the story, and he is meant to perform exorcisms and help save the town. So this is a symbol of Christianity and religion, and maybe that being a good thing and saving the town. It doesn't end up saving the town, but it is a powerful symbol nonetheless. Next slide. So here's some progress pictures from just kind of my original drawing to the process here of making the window panes and my stage here. This is how my stage will look when it's in full production. I used this paper in the background to produce kind of a starry night effect behind the windows. And then you can see that's just the rest of my stage right here. Next slide. Yep. Same thing. I just wanted to show that this is the look I was going for. It does, it will look like nighttime when a lot of these scenes are happening. That's just kind of how it ended up working out. I think that could make for a pretty interesting play. Most of these like paranoid persecutions and conversations are happening at night. It's kind of an interesting, different take, I guess. Next slide. I had a little fun here. I had to show what it would look like as an audience member, and I think that ended up going pretty well, putting a little stage sign there as well. Next slide. And there's my final model. So kind of start to finish. And that is my version of the Crucible. Next slide. Thank you.